and we will kick it off from there. All right, everybody, welcome again. Thank you for joining Felicia and myself. I'm going to kick over the mic to Felicia so she can introduce herself, and then I'm going to be pouring up some tequila, so I'm going to put myself on mute. So go ahead, Felicia, kick it off. Let the folks know who you are, what you do, and give a little insight about yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Felicia. I do sell real estate, but I do a lot of other things as well. I grew up in the Bay Area, actually in Richmond, California. I went to UC Davis for school, and then I moved straight back to the Bay Area afterwards, where I've lived ever since. I do serve the East Bay, so I work mainly in Oakland, which is where my office is. But I sprinkle it around in the other cities as well. And I have a confession to make, and Ricky might be surprised to hear this, and he's probably going to get really mad at me, but I'm not a tequila drinker. I don't usually drink tequila, but I'm going to drink it today because I am a down girl. Okay. I do things just for the fun of it, just for you, Ricky. So I actually had a bottle of Patron on my bar, luckily, because a friend of mine gave it to me as a congratulations gift. Actually, a fellow realtor gave it to me when I got 30 under 30. So I was awarded 30 under 30 in 2019. And I had this big party to celebrate when I won. And my friend brought me this giant bottle of Patron. And so I've had it ever since 2019. You could see I've hardly drank any of it. And honestly, it probably wasn't even me who drank it. It was probably friends who came over. So I've been looking for an excuse to get into this. So I know Patron is just like super standard or whatever, but that's what I'm going to be drinking today. And hopefully I'll learn a little bit about tequila from you because I don't know anything.
Well, I think that's perfect. I mean, what more of a better moment than to crack it open or at least get a little drink out of it. Yeah, it looks like like you said, someone else already cracked it for you, but yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, not everybody's a tequila drinker. I don't expect everybody to be. I think this more than anything is just kind of gonna introduce people a little bit more, give them a little bit more insight. Everyone just thinks, oh, Don Julio or Patron or Jose Cuervo and stuff like that. So there's much more brands and different styles of tequila than people think. And it's actually have gotten extremely popular as of late. So actually I'm drinking a tequila called Código that Mr. George Strait, the country singer, has endorsed and he's a part owner of. So it's actually gotten very, very, pretty much, I would say it's gotten more acceptable, a little bit more sociable. I mean, celebrities are endorsing it, so it's gotten more popular in that regard. I mean, The Rock has his own tequila. Jordan dropped his own tequila. I mean, Mr. George Strait. I mean, you got a bunch of folks out there who are endorsing tequila and are becoming tequila drinkers. And yeah, I just came back from Mexico. I went out there on business to take a peek at a property that my parents and I are building. So I was out there in tequila country. And it's like driving through Napa. And, say it again.
Did you bring that home?
Oh no.
Okay.
No, I didn't bring this one home, but I did bring a lot home. I always bring anywhere between like 6 to 8 bottles.
Nice.
And I'll tell you, the difference is they add alcohol when it gets here. So typically in Mexico, it's about 38% alcohol content. And when it gets to the US, they add an extra 2% to make it to the legal 40. So it dilutes the flavor a little bit. It's not the same. So what you drink here, although it may be the same bottle, same brand, everything like that, it's not the same as you would drink it in Mexico. It's a little different. So like I was saying, Felicia, it's crazy. A lot of celebrities are getting into it. I mean, E40 has E40. Like you got all these people that are very well known in whatever industry that they're in, whether it's acting or musicians, et cetera, that are having their own tequilas made and pretty much endorsing them. So this one actually was gifted to me by a client. I don't always get gifts, but I do love when I get gifts, and tequila is like the key to my heart. So when they they brought it out for me. I was like, ooh, and I haven't tried it before, so I was like,
That's
perfect.
awesome.
I'm gonna try it with you. I'll let you know what I think.
Cool
Like,
is that they knew that you like tequila.
I mean, I
I
think
mean, I know you're known for it, but like they're clearly paying attention enough to remember that you like tequila. So that's very thoughtful.
oh, definitely. Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. And like I said, it's the key to my heart. So like when people know that I like tequila and they gift it to me, it's like I'm more than grateful because I know I'm either going to share it with some family and friends or I'm going to share it with you guys on my Tequila and Transaction show and let you guys know what I think about it. And I always like to switch it up a little bit. I like to learn about the, pretty much the company and the making of it behind the scenes. And it's kind of cool that a country singer would endorse this. And it's called Código. Has a really cool looking bottle, and that color is like a really nice caramel brown. It's that añejo, so it's aged a lot more than the Patron you're drinking. The Patron you're drinking is very virgin. It isn't aged much at all, but once they put it in barrels, it starts to get that color from the barrel. And this has actually uh, been aged in Napa Cabernet barrels. So I'm
Oh,
excited to try it. I'll let you know what I think. But so I know you're a little bit more of a beer drinker, if I'm not mistaken.
I am. Yeah, beer and whiskey, although I'm not a connoisseur, so I am fairly basic with things. I just like everything. I'm like cool with everything. I'm just like whatever. I'm not super knowledgeable with any of it, but yeah, I for the most part will drink beer.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't shy away from alcohol that much. So
Yeah.
I'm cool with tequila's my go-to. The only thing, I'm sorry, I don't want to offend any of your the vodka drinkers out there in the audience, but not a major fan. Just
Me
never
neither.
happened.
I mean, maybe if I'm like, laying on the beach and there's like a daiquiri or something that has vodka in it or whatever, then like that's fine. But like all the sugar and like the different flavors and I don't know. Do people drink vodka straight? Is that a thing?
I think it's some really maybe really high end vodka, yeah, and I think it's mainly our Russian friends that like to drink it straight. But I mean, for me, I mean, I prefer tequila straight. A lot of people don't like tequila, like you're saying. If you're not a huge fan, you're really not gonna drink it straight. You're more so gonna dilute it with soda or juice of some nature. But it just really depends on your palate.
The only juice that I had in my fridge
That's perfect.
was the Capri Sun. So I'm gonna use this as a chaser if I need it.
Yeah,
And don't
yeah. I mean, what's cool is that the like the blancos, like the ones that aren't really aged, they don't have too much of a like an after like a really like an aftertaste. They're pretty. Oh, you got the perfect glass for it too. Nice. Yeah, they don't. I mean, I'll tell you what. I like virgin tequila, like blancos, because they're so easy to drink. Those are shooters. Like if you want to, you're not going to take shots of 1942 unless you're a baller like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
unless you're a baller. I mean, those are like $30 shots. You're gonna sip it. You're gonna enjoy it. Patron, Don Julio Blanco, stuff like that. That stuff goes down super easy, and it tastes great in like margaritas. So typically, that's what you're gonna do is you're gonna mix the more clear stuff into like juices and mixes and stuff like that. The more aged, the darker the color gets, the more aged it is, and more of a sipper it is. Like you're gonna want to sit down and just kind of enjoy the taste of it and the kind of the oakiness from the barrels and stuff like that. So there's definitely different levels. I mean, you start off with the blanco, like the one that you're having, Felicia, and then it's reposado. It's aged a few months in barrels to kind of get a little bit more of that robust color. And then people get crazy. They go 6 to 8 months or even years in some regard, and that's where it gets more pricey. The longer it's aged, the more expensive it is, obviously, because it's sitting in barrels for years, and then you pay that premium to drink it.
I
But
honestly had no idea what the differences were. Like I really did not know. Like going to the store, like whenever I have to buy tequila, I get so stressed out because like I don't know what anything is. But now that like you explain it in that way with the coloring of it, it's so helpful because I just never knew that.
and then I'm gonna throw a curveball at you right now. So there is aged tequila that's clear, and that's become more of a huge fad. It's a little bit more of a lately it's become very popular in that regard. It's a trend where the tequila company will take an aged tequila like this one per se, where it's nice and caramelized and brown, and then they'll distill it to remove the color. So it kind of adds an extra level of distill, like this distill process that to remove the color, but it also makes it a little bit more smoother. So you can have a clear aged tequila. There's a few out there right now that are doing that, and which the ones that are really popular are, it's a company called Maestro, and the what they call that tequila is Dobel, Dobel. And what they'll do is they'll kind of, and they're a little bit more unique because they won't just take añejo. They'll take a little bit of their reposado, a little bit of their añejo. They'll make a little concoction of different their different tequilas, distill it, remove the color, and then you're left with a clear tequila, which is aged. And then there's a few other, like 1800 does one. Another one that's very well known is Don Julio 70, Don Julio 70. That one's also an aged clear tequila as well. So yes, you can have a clear tequila that's aged, and that's more so just to remove the color of it. But it's all to your liking. I'd say if you're not really big into tequila, I mean, if you're like, oh, all I know is Jose Cuervo, oh, you gotta get out a little bit more and get out of your comfort zone for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. My family, so we have a sort of a tradition, I guess. Like everybody takes shots on Christmas Eve, of usually Patron. So it's just like what I know and what we've always like drank in my family. My mom is really big on margaritas. So I'll drink a margarita when I'm with her, but like if I'm just somewhere, it would be very rare for me to ever order any tequila or a tequila based drink. Normally I would get like beer or whiskey or
Yeah,
bourbon or something like that. And
yeah,
yeah, so to me, when I drink tequila, it reminds me of my mom.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way you are. If I'm not drinking tequila, I'm gonna have a. It depends on the climate. Like if it's warm, I'm having a beer for sure.
Yeah.
But there's
Or if
times
it's
when I'm,
dinner, then I'll have wine.
yeah, that's exactly. Like for me, I mean, I love wine with dinner. I mean, if it's a later in the evening and I want to cozy up and get a little bit warm, I'll have some wine or maybe some tequila. But yeah, I'm a huge whiskey fan too. I mean, I do love whiskey. I love bourbon and scotch as well. So like I said, I'm not shy with the alcohol fam. I'm really I'm
That's
really
hair on your chest.
yeah, I'm not shy. I definitely love hanging out with all of them, and except for vodka, I'm not really, that doesn't suit me well, and they don't like hanging out with me, nor do I like hanging out with them. But that's a whole other story for another day. But no, but yeah, that's cool. I mean, definitely, I'm glad that we're letting you explore a little bit and giving you some insight, and good thing that I'm teaching you a little something, because that's definitely what I want to bring to the table, and let people know that although you have that kind of thought process, like, oh, it's only Jose Cuervo and this and that, there's so much more out there. It's getting very popular. It's gotten really popular this last year. I think when I saw E40 come out with his tequila, and then everybody else started coming out with their own tequilas, I was like, dang. And then I haven't tried his, but I heard it's really good. So I definitely got to, probably on my next one, my next tequila transaction, because this is the last one of the year. So we're going out with a bang on this one. But for sure, probably next year, maybe I might go buy myself a E40 bottle and enjoy it, maybe slap some E40 music and stuff like that. But
You definitely should. That would be awesome.
yeah, and this weekend, I think on Saturday, E40 and Too Short are going to be battling. So that's going to be a pretty cool.
Do it yet? I thought they already did it. They didn't do it
Was that
yet?
this? I thought it was going to be this Saturday. Maybe I'm a little bit behind because I was in Mexico, but I thought it was they were supposed to do their rap battle on Saturday.
Auntie and I forget who the other person was supposed
Oh
to do
yeah.
it. I think she got COVID.
Ah, you're right.
And then
You're right.
everybody was making fun of her, like, oh, she's just pretending she has COVID because she's scared.
She doesn't want to get. She doesn't want to get. She doesn't want to get roasted in the battle. Yeah,
Oh,
that's gonna be fun to watch. I thought it was this Saturday, but might be mistaken. I've been seeing some stuff on Facebook and Instagram. I'm like, everyone's hyping it up. E40 and Too Short gonna go toe to toe, but
good.
that's gonna be pretty fun to watch. But yeah, no, it's crazy just to see how the demand has gone up like crazy. And then lately, as you know, people are in a buying frenzy and they feel like the world's gonna end, so they go buy everything up. I mean, we have no toilet paper, Clorox wipes, and then I'm over here trying to buy a gift for a client, and like there's no tequila anywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I had to
Oh,
go
do
like,
you gift your clients tequila?
I do. I think that's like one thing that I really,
So when you meet a client for the first time, do you ask them like, hey, do you drink tequila? Or do you just like I don't care. You're getting a bottle of tequila.
It's actually kind of worked out, Felicia, where like a lot of my clients are tequila drinkers, and
It
because
makes sense.
a lot of my clients are actually, majority of them are Hispanic, so they don't turn down a nice bottle of tequila. To be honest with you, there's been some exceptions, like where like I'll get to know them and they'll slip in that how much they love wine or how much they love champagne or whatever, and I'll switch it up for sure. But I always like to give them something to kind of start their home bar and like add a little nice touch to their maybe to something that maybe they want to create a bar, have those little wine carts or a bar cart or whatever you call them. But I always like to give them something to kind of add to their home, and what better than a nice bottle of wine or tequila or champagne or something like that. And the cool part is like 9 times out of 10 they're like, oh, we're gonna open this up right now, and I'm like, oh, all right. I was like, I brought shot glasses.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny because I really think that one of the good things about our business is that we tend to attract clients that are similar to us,
Yeah,
which just makes the entire experience better because you feel more connected to your clients and vice versa. They feel more connected to you. And I feel like they
right.
can trust you more when they're more similar to you. So it's fun to like work with people who you feel connected to and that you feel like they could be your friends and like you have similar interests and you are kind of similar people. So it totally makes sense to me that you would have clients that enjoy a drink.
Oh, definitely. I think that's the fun part too, like getting to know them. Like, what did you like? I think you would agree, like getting to know your clients, and then like even when you're done with the process, they hopefully become your friends, and then you're able to kind of continue that relationship. And then for me, I always like to just continue to be a resource. I was always told by like OGs in the real estate game, because when I came in, I just came in to learn and absorb as much as I could, and just learn from people who have been in the industry for a long time. They've obviously withstanded recessions and all kinds of irregularities in the market for a reason. So I was always told like, oh, it's you're when you close a transaction, you're done and that's it, and like forget about them. But I'm like, no. I mean, for me, it's like I want to continue that relationship because there's the potential there for repeat business or referral business. And more than anything, like I don't want them to feel like I just hand them their keys and it's over. So but yeah, usually it's the journey is extremely fun, and then when you hand over the keys, you're like, I always kind of feel a little sad because I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna hang out with them as much anymore.
I know. Sometimes it's funny when you get like one of your favorite clients, like if you're really connected to them and you're like jamming and you're in the zone, and then they get their first offer accepted and they like get their house and you like hand them over the key. Sometimes it can happen fast, right? Like sometimes
Right.
it's 1 month that you met these people to when they got their keys.
Yep.
And that is always a little bit sad because sometimes it's like we want to keep like
Yep.
working together, like, wow, I'm so used to seeing you guys and hanging out with you and talking to you all the time, and now you're just gone.
Exactly. I'm like,
So it's important to keep those relationships up for sure.
oh, 100%. Yeah. And I think it's just the whole journey is extremely gratifying. And then, like you said, just getting to know them, and you attract people that are like you. So, and then, throughout the journey, they drop little hints about themselves or what they like and what they don't like. And I'm always very super conscious about that, and like always listening. And when they drop hints, and sometimes when we're touring houses, I'm like, ooh, they got nice tequila, or I'll say something funny like that, and then my clients are just like, ooh, I love tequila, or I'm not really a tequila fan. I'm like, oh, all right, what do you guys like to drink? And they're like, oh, we don't like to drink at all. I'm like, all right, cool. So then I know I'm not going to get them anything or get them something different. But yeah, it's part of the journey, and you
Yeah.
know,
Have
got
you
to
um,
continue
have
that.
you taken that love language test to see what your love language is?
I don't think so.
Okay, I would recommend it because it's interesting.
Might have
So
to send the link to
there
me.
are
Yeah.
like 5 different love languages, and it's just
Okay.
like the ways that you express love and the ways that you receive love, and it doesn't have to be
Oh,
romantic,
okay.
just like in general. So one of my love languages is gift giving, and so you're hitting like all of the things that I care about right now, like everything that you're saying, I'm like, yes, 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 because one of my love languages is gift giving. So like when I'm with my clients and they're like mentioning little things about, oh, my kid, like this is where we would put their like for instance, I have these clients who every house that we go in, they're like, okay, where are we going to set up the trains? Because one of their kids is like obsessed with
Whoa,
trains.
right
So I'm like,
on.
I
Yeah.
cannot wait to close and get this kid a sick train set. Like
Yeah.
that'll be such a good gift for them.
Yeah.
Just little things like that. And I think it's just, all of these different like personality tests and like things that you can find out about yourself I feel like it's just really helpful to learn those things about yourself so that you know how to like express things and you know how to like, I don't know, just it's just interesting.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I'm definitely gonna have to, dive into that and see exactly what my love languages are, because I think I just how you explained it, I think gift giving is a huge one for me too.
Like it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I always try to do something personable and something that they're going to remember me by, and more so remember the transaction by. And then yeah, I'm always listening, like when they drop hints, like you're saying. Like I've one time, like it was all about the dogs, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get them. I'm gonna get them. I stole a photo off their Facebook of their dog, and I got them like a sick, like framed, like photo of their dog, like in a baseball outfit, because they're huge baseball fans.
Oh,
And
that
they
is
were like, they damn near cried, Felicia. I was trying to be a little corny, and like, but they loved it, and it was like those little things you got to really pay attention to. And it's like, we're more than realtors. Like we wear multiple hats, like throughout the transaction and throughout our career. Like can be psychiatrists at some time. We can, be divorce attorneys, like all kinds of crazy stuff. And it's like, I always try to keep it fun. It is a very nervous process. People always approach it a little bit differently, or a little weary about things. Some people don't like to be as open, but I always like to just try to get as much honesty out of them and make sure that they're being honest with me, because I always am very honest with my clients. I don't ever like to, beat around the bush or make them feel like, it's not gonna, I don't want like to sugarcoat things, because it's better to make sure that they understand and that you're honest with them, and that they know that you're there for them and that you're looking out for their best interest. So
right.
but yeah, like little stuff like that, like when they drop hints, those are like my favorite. Like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna jot that down. I'm gonna remember when they close. I'm gonna get them something like that, or something funny or whatever. But what I wanted to ask you more than anything, I mean, since we're both super young, I mean, it's great to be young, right? But in this industry, we're super young. I mean, compared to what the statistics say, we're millennials, as working as realtors that typically are probably twice our age sometimes. What, pretty much what would you say to yourself, or what would you do differently if you were starting this over again? Like if you were going to become, if you were like, if you had something to tell yourself, like when you were going to be starting this whole real estate process, what would you do differently, or what advice would you give yourself?
I think so. There's a lot of things where I would be like, you did that great. Like, don't ever change that. But there's a
Right.
couple of things maybe that I could have done differently. The main one is probably just protecting my time, because
Yeah.
this career can be all consuming. It can
Yeah.
consume your evenings, your weekends, your sleep. I've had so many dreams about real estate and transactions and clients and stress. And when that happens, you know that there's something going on in your waking life that is affecting you to where you're even dreaming about it. So
Right.
I think that yes, we need to be highly involved. Yes, we need to be highly responsive, but it's okay to wait an hour before you text somebody back, or you don't have to, give up your entire life just to become successful. And I think that especially as young people, we have a hard time drawing those boundaries with clients and letting them know like, hey, it's not okay to talk to me this way. Or, hey, I am going to take an hour to have dinner with my family and that's okay. And I will 100% get back to you after dinner or whatever. Like I think that that's been a really big struggle for me, is just not letting it consume my entire life. And so when realtors come to me, or when people come to me and they're like, I'm thinking about getting my license, I want to keep it real with them on like the things that will happen. Like you will miss out on some stuff in your own personal life because you need to be there for your clients. And if you think you can handle that, and if you care about people enough to handle that, then this career could be amazing and it can take you really far. But if that's going to be too much for you, then like maybe this isn't the industry for you, because you do have to be like, it's a bigger moment for your clients than it is for you. And you need to treat it like it's the biggest moment for you because it's big for them. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's just a lot. I don't know if you've struggled with that at all, but I think it's just so consuming. It takes over so much, and we need to learn how to manage our time and how to have that work-life balance. It's really, really important. So that's one thing that I would say to really reflect on early on in your career is what are your boundaries and how are you going to express that to your clients?
Wow. That's like exactly what I would have said, to be honest with you. And it's funny because I was warned, like, just like how you're saying you would tell that to another young agent starting off or people who are looking to get licensed. I say the exact same thing because that's the one thing I was warned about, and I still made the mistake of not setting those boundaries. And like, yeah, when I started out, like it sucks, but I missed out on a lot. My first probably year and a half, 2 years, just because I was on the grind like nonstop, and I felt like if I didn't get back to that client, I was going to lose them.
Yeah.
And that was probably my biggest mistake, is not setting boundaries and not being honest with people and saying, hey, I'll get back to you after dinner, or hey, I'm going to spend time with my family this weekend. Can we see houses during the week, or things like that? But it was tough. It was really tough because I'm, huge. I love my family. I love hanging out with them, and I'm huge on that. Like I need to spend time with them. That's kind of like my sanctuary, to just be able to step away from like my day to day and just be with them and not have to worry about real estate and issues going on in transactions and whatnot. And for me, that was just the biggest struggle, is drawing the line and being okay with that. It was like, for me, it's like, oh, I need to get back to him. I need to do this. I need to do that. And it's like, no, dude, just take a step back, go hang out with your family, go to a football game. Cause I'm a huge 49er fan. I have season tickets. It sucks. I can't go to any games this year, but like, I'm old. Like for me, it's like, that's like, was like the funnest thing I look forward to during football season was like Sundays. I was going to go out with my dad or my brother or my cousins, and we're going to go to a 49er game. Like that was what we were going to do. And there's times where I had to miss those games because I was showing property on Sunday, and that was big for us.
Yeah, basically your entire weekend is dedicated to work, because we do need to be flexible and be on our clients' schedules. Um,
Right.
but I
Right.
think the important thing for not even just new realtors, but all realtors to take into account is, we originally got into this business likely because we wanted flexibility, and instead it just ended up taking over all of our time.
Yeah.
So you really have to schedule that time for yourself. Like sometimes I'll be like, Tuesday morning, I have to take like time to just be off, and not to be on work. Like, even though it's the middle of the day or whatever, like I'm going to focus on my hobby, or I'm going to go on a walk, or I'm still really, really bad at that. And I have a friend within my brokerage who is always like texting me, like, you need time off, you need, cause she's way better at it than I am. But I try, and I know that I'm supposed to do that. Like I need to have at least one day where I'm not working, but it's not really a thing, it's
Yeah.
just hard.
It's weird. Yeah. It's weird because like you want to schedule those days, but then like someone contacts you and like, oh, sure. Like
Yeah, and you're
I'll
like,
show you
okay,
houses. Yeah,
yeah,
I'll show you houses. And it's like, damn it, I wanted that day off. Like I wanted to go do this or do that. And I think, the hardest part too is like trusting other people, like, and, when you're on a team or you're surrounding yourself with people who are there to help you. It's like, I have Michael Briones, who's on my team here at Boulevard. He's always, shout out to Michael. He's always been the one that's like, you need time off. Same thing how you're telling me like, hey, you need this, you need to go take time for yourself. And like, and then my associates tell me all the time at my brokerage, they're like, dude, you're fine, go for it. And I'm like scared. Like I was scared to leave the country because I have like 4 escrows going on right now. And I'm like, what am I going to do if something happens or whatever? I'm like, dude, just calm down. You have internet, you have your phone, you'll be
you
fine.
still have your phone and like
Yeah.
your computer. You can still
Yeah.
help. Yeah,
Exactly. So like it's okay to let somebody else be there for you. Like I had like for me, it's like that's the hardest part, is handing something over or
totally.
trusting people. And like for me, it's like I always have so much help, but I'm just afraid to ask for it because just because I don't want to inconvenience people. At the same time, like I want to have my hands all over everything, but sometimes it's like it's okay, and my clients understand, and that's what I need to understand myself, is that if my clients are cool with it, I need to be cool with it. Like if like I had to do a final walkthrough and I wasn't there because obviously I was in another country, and one of my associates was like, dude, I got it, don't worry about it, I'll take them, I'll let them in, we'll do the final walkthrough, you're fine. And I'm like freaking out, like making sure, like, did you guys send the peed, did you guys
Right.
do this, did you guys do that? And they're like, dude, we got it. And I'm like, all right, cool. But it's like that's, I think, the hardest part is trusting people and being able to hand stuff off and ask for help. But
I totally agree with you. It's like, it's because your business is like your little baby. and you
Yep.
work so hard to do all the things correctly and to learn everything that you learn and to support your clients and to get them in contract and to hold their hands and to help them when they're sad and all these things that you do. And then to just hand it off to somebody else to like do one little part of it just feels so horrible,
Yeah.
but it's fine. Everything will be okay.
Yeah.
Probably have really trustworthy people around you. Like it's our own thing that we need to get through. It's nothing
Exactly.
outside of your head. It's nothing else. Like not like it's all on us. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, your clients are not going to remember like, oh, Ricky passed me off to his associate to do a final walkthrough. Like at the end
For
of the
one
day,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
all they
nobody
really care about is that it went smoothly, that they got the keys, that they're able to move into their
and
house. Like,
you are actually communicative with them about it. Like, hey, I know I'm not there with you guys, but I'm here like, virtually. And as long as you have that communication, clients do not care at all.
yeah, and it's funny that the way you say it, it sounds so easy, but then in our minds, we're like, no, we don't. I
I
don't.
know. What's funny is that I'm telling you this, and then when I hang up, I'm gonna like never do it. Like
Yeah,
so horrible.
it
But
sucks. It
so I
sucks.
feel like
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like I was getting better at it before the pandemic. And then like now that we can't do anything and can't go anywhere, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I'm all about business. All I do is I eat, sleep, and breathe my clients. That's all I do. Like there's nothing else to do. Is
Yep.
it's I think the pandemic has created a problem in that sense of like there's no other, there is no traveling to take off, hardly unless for some reason you have to, but
Right.
there is no traveling, there is no like extracurricular things, there's no like hanging out with your friends. So the things that have filled that time that I would normally spend doing those is just business stuff. And it feels good because I feel so successful this year. Like technically I did really good this year, but it doesn't feel as good because you're not getting any of those like rewards. It's like, yes, I worked really hard, but I also had a lot of fun. I got to travel. I got to do all the things I like to do. But instead, all you did was work really hard this year. So it's like, who cares about the amount of money you made if you can't like go out and spend it on like the things you enjoy to do?
Yeah, I mean, man, I hope 2021 is way better because yeah, this year's been so weird. It's like you're saying, like it's all been business, and I feel like it was a little easier when we had open houses, and like your clients trusted you enough to like, or you trusted your clients enough to like send them off, like, hey guys, although I can't go with you, these are the homes that you wanted to see. They're all going to be open on Sunday and Saturday. Go ahead and go, and let me know how it goes. And I was okay with doing that. And I got, like you're saying, I got so much better before 2020. Like I was like, oh, 2020 is going to be way better. I'm going to hire people. It's going to get easier. I'm going to be able to have more time for myself. I want to travel more. And then coronavirus is like, hell nah, you ain't doing shit.
Your clients can't do nothing without you.
Yup.
Yeah, it's funny because
There.
I rarely ever did showings. Like showings was not a part of my business before the pandemic. And
Right.
because
Right.
it's all open houses and everybody was cool with that.
Yeah.
I communicated that early on, like you're gonna go to open houses and we're gonna talk on Monday, and
Yep.
we're gonna dive deep. And I'm very intense with the way that I do like disclosures and the way that I do comps, as I'm sure you are. Like that is
Yep.
the most time consuming part of my business is like figuring out the details of the property, what they need to be worried about, what they need to not be worried about. And so now that you have you open houses are gone and you have to do all the showings in person, it's impossible to grow as much as you could have this year because you don't have enough time for all of it.
Yeah. And you have to be there to let your clients in. You have to be there to sanitize on the way out. It's 30 minutes. You're in, you're out, you're on to the next one. It's like, and if you have more than one buyer, you're like spending hours showing property throughout the whole week. And it's like, yeah, I guess it's extremely time consuming because yeah, before, like you're saying, like I was okay with it. And my clients were okay with it because while they were out showing or while they were out viewing property, I'm like you're saying, I'm running comps, I'm pulling disclosures, I'm talking to the realtors, I'm getting to know them, kind of just putting my foot in the door so they know exactly who I am and know that I'm going to be very persistent and communicate and make sure that, you know, I'm here to make the job, or, I'm here to close the transaction. You know what I mean? And communicating with them that, if they choose our offer, that it's going to be extremely smooth and transparent process, and that, we're not here to blow smoke, that, my clients are interested and we're going to make it happen. And like, now it's like, you have to do,
all of that.
yeah. And now we have to do so much more. We have to set the appointment. We have to sign the P's. We have to handhold everybody. And it's like, and then you have to go out and do all that other stuff that we were already used to doing. So yeah, it's just consumed us so much more because of what we're having to deal with. But, to be honest with you, I'm just really grateful that we're still able to actually work and get people into homes. And like, it's just extremely different right now because it's like more of a necessity now. People like are, moving, as people are moving out of living situations that are not ideal. And like, for us, it's like now we're kind of the bridge to get them out of that really awkward living situation into a better one. And a majority of my clients have been in weird living situations where either their house is too small, or they don't have enough, whatever it may be. They don't have a backyard, or they have a newborn and they're all working from home. And it's like extremely hard to work in a studio apartment with a newborn.
Yeah.
So, all those things kind of rolled into one. And it's like, now we're actually facilitating the next chapter of their life and putting them in a better living situation, hopefully to, be more sustainable, and so that they can actually get stuff done and be a little bit more, I would say a little bit more happy, and not be cooped up. Because I mean, it's been a really weird time, as you know, and people were extremely scared. We didn't even know what we were going to do, if we were going to even be able to work in like March and then April, and then here comes May, and they're like, "All right, guys, you guys can actually start working again." We're like, "All right," and then having to adjust and learn. And so yeah, we were. I mean, as you know, we were all jumping on Zoom calls and trying to like mastermind and figure this all out, and how we were going to get better at this industry and adapt for our clients. And it's like, I've seen you and a lot of other fellow realtors who I consider like your really close friends and colleagues, like just like take this opportunity to just get so much better. And it's awesome to see that. And I don't think we're ever gonna, could not continue to grow. Like, we're always gonna have to continue to adapt and get better at what we're doing. But it's crazy that we had to like do this so quickly, and then we had to adapt so fast. And then dealing with the pandemic too, and worrying about getting coronavirus or getting your clients sick or anything like, anything of that nature, all rolled into what we're doing. So yeah, it is extremely like a really nervous process already. And now adding that stuff in. So yeah, I think definitely this is something that we're never, ever, ever going to forget. We're going to
It's crazy. Like, we're literally, I mean, you're putting your health at risk every time you go and show a property. You're
right.
in a house, no matter how much you try to stay far away from your clients or what, you're still in the same house with them. There's so much pressure and stress added on top of everything. It's just been such a wild year. I just can't believe it. I don't know what's going to happen in 2021. It feels like there's going to be a big change and like it's going to be a different year, but that's all just kind of like in our minds, like New Year's doesn't really mean anything. It's not like it really switches over to something new. So
Right.
I don't know, we'll see. But like you're saying about like so many realtors stepped up and started like changing things up and doing things like just learning and growing and all of these beautiful things. But then there's also been this other side of our industry who have struggled and haven't done as well.
Right.
And I like some of my very close friends like haven't done as well in the industry. And it's hard to put your finger on why. Like, why is my business doing so well? And like the pandemic has honestly kind of helped me to propel myself forward. And then meanwhile, I have like other friends who are so awesome at what they do, but they can't get to that, next step, and they're not growing as rapidly. And I think a lot of it has to do with how versatile you are, how flexible
Right.
you are, how willing you are to grow and change and do things differently. And also where you're getting your clients from, because, pre-pandemic, a lot of people would get their clients from open houses, myself included. We would meet new buyers at open houses, even new neighbors. We would host an open house and meet the neighbor and potentially
Right.
sell the house. There's so many ways that you could, take advantage of an open house. And now that there are no open houses, so many people's businesses fell to the wayside because they didn't know how else to get clients. So, there's so many different ways: cold calling, door knocking, open houses, like referrals. There's so many different ways to get business. And I think it's really important for new realtors to figure out what their niche is, what they feel comfortable with, what they want, in which sector do they want to grow, and then to really just dominate it and do really well at it. For me, I did get a lot of clients from open houses, meeting people at open houses, snagging them as clients and taking our relationship, further to the next step. But once open houses were taken away, I showed up even more on social media. I followed up even harder with my past clients. I took the time, like, okay, if I'm saving 6 hours because I'm not doing open houses on Sunday, I better be doing 6 hours of some other type of prospecting because that was taken away. So I think it's really important to have like at least 3 different main sources of business and to really just be a master at them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me too, like I mean, if you're not a people person and you're in real estate, it's like, you got to have a really cool personality. People, I mean, you have to be very likable. People have to want to work with you. And it's like, a majority of us realtors are really down to earth, super cool people who obviously people want to work with us for a reason. But, I think, our your true selves really shine at open houses and like, just being out there and hanging out with people, talking to them about the house. And like you're saying, you meet so many people, prospective buyers, you meet neighbors, you meet all kinds of people. And it's like, they took that all away from us. And it's like, now you're kind of awkward. And it's kind of like awkward. You're trying to figure out like, where do you fit? And like, how do you like,
Yeah.
recuperate that business? And it's like you're saying, and I had to myself got much more personable on Instagram and stuff like that. And, even started this show and like different things that I wasn't really used to doing before, like cold calling. It's like, I hated cold calling. And I just, right now I've gotten much better at it because I have to, like, because my other source of business was taken away. And like you're saying, I got really, really good at just like hitting my CRM and getting after people because, I wanted to stay busy. Like, there was about 2 months of work that, was kind of taken away from us. And that was typically our busiest time of the year was like right when spring hits, leading into the summer. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy that, what we have to deal with, but it's awesome to see like some people, like you're saying, really adapt and get great at what they do and like see them kind of flourish and blossom. And then, I think, those people who haven't done so great, I think they're going to be okay. I think, hopefully people like me and you are able to kind of give them some pointers and help them out. And, it's all about, just being yourself and being personable. And I always tell people all the time, like, don't come into real estate, thinking you're a hot shot. You have to come in really wanting to collaborate and learn because there's so much to learn from other realtors out there and other people in the industry who have been here way longer than you have. And like I said, always, I talked about earlier, they've obviously been in the real estate industry for a while for a reason. So you always want to come in, I think, with that mindset, just be like a sponge and trying to like grasp little things from everybody, just trying to adapt and kind of put a little spin on it for yourself. But yeah, like, door knocking really isn't a thing anymore. Like, unless you're okay with going out there knocking on doors with a mask on, sometimes people are going to look at you like you're crazy, like, get the hell
Yeah.
out, get out of here. But
I think it's like rude. I don't know. I feel like it's rude if you're door knocking right now.
I haven't done door knocking probably in like maybe almost a year now. And I feel awkward like going to knocking on doors.
Were you good at it before?
I got better at it, and like the only reason I felt more comfortable, I started taking my dog with me, and he gave me a little bit more confidence because
Oh, that's awesome.
so like I would like go on my walks, like I usually go take my dog out for morning and evening walks. So my morning walks, like sometimes I go and just knock on like maybe 10, 15 doors a day. And like I felt more comfortable because he was with me, and people always like remember the dog more than they remember you for some reason. So like every time like they'll see my dog, they're like, "Oh, hey, there's Yoda," and then I'm like, "Yeah," and you remember my
So
name?
cute. That's super smart.
Yeah, he gave me a little bit more confidence because like even if I got rejected or whatever, I was like, "Whatever, come on, Yoda, let's go." Like, yeah,
You're walking your dog. You're almost doing
dog.
the tour at the same time as like trying to get new business. So it's smart.
Yeah, that was one thing that made me a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't as good at it. I started getting a little bit better at it and just providing value more than I just didn't always show up like wanting to be that sleazy realtor. I more so showed up like trying to introduce myself, just let them know that I'm there for them where I live, and that I've been a neighbor for so many years. I grew up in the neighborhood, and like introduce my dog, and then people are like, oh, how cute, and then like they'll typically remember like Yoda more than they remember me. But it's cool because then they kind of start putting it together. They're like, oh yeah, there goes Ricky and Yoda, and then like so now in my neighborhood when I walk around, everybody says hello now because they know who I am, because I'm always going out on walks when people go out on walks, and like they're used to seeing me in the neighborhood and stuff like that. But little things, just little things to kind of just make you a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, it's kind of gone away now just because of COVID. But yeah, I mean, we've had to really adapt and change things up and get better at other things that we probably weren't as good at, or like hated doing, which was cold calling for me. So, I think it's cool because obviously we're now put into that position where we have to get out of our comfort zone a little bit. And, now you could really appreciate, the process of, not being so good at it and now getting a little bit better and being more comfortable behind the phone and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's definitely, we were put into a situation where we just had to go on go mode and try to figure it out. And, I think we've done pretty well. I've seen a lot of our colleagues do pretty well, and it's nice to see that. But I don't think that it's over. I think we're going to still have to continue to adapt. And as we're seeing right now, the current climate that we're in, it's not getting any better with COVID. So even though this vaccine is here, it doesn't mean that we can all go out and party. We still have to be very conscious about our we're so conscious of our decisions, and be still very conscious on how we're going out and portraying ourselves and wearing masks, and just making sure we're making our clients feel comfortable and making people around us feel comfortable. And but yeah, I mean, it's not going to go away anytime soon. I think we still have to be very, very conscious of that, and be just stay healthy and stay just, I would say, just do what we have to do. At the end of the day, we just got to do what we got to do.
Yeah. It's so cute how people are like, 2021, like it's a fresh start. And it's like, there's no difference between, December 31st and January. It's
Yeah,
literally,
it's
but
another day.
I am still hopeful though that things, it does feel like things will get back to normal
Oh,
sometime
eventually.
in
Yeah.
2021. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too. But I don't think that's an excuse for us to take our foot off the gas, and or more so, not be, you know, not caring, not care for others. We definitely have to still continue to be careful and look out for our parents and our uncles and aunts and our cousins and everybody else around us, or
Yeah.
our clients more than anything too.
Even more so for realtors, because we are seeing our clients in person. It's almost like we have more responsibility not to go and see our grandparents or our parents or anybody, because we are exposed to not only our clients, but whoever was in the house before our clients and whoever they saw. It's a whole chain reaction. And it's stressful. I had a scare actually when I offered to do a showing for a colleague of mine who was out of town and couldn't do it. And I was like, sure, I'll go and do it. And a couple days later, I got a call from her saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, but I think my client has COVID and you were exposed. And so then I couldn't work because, you just have to stop everything. Like as soon as you
Exactly.
hear that you were somehow even remotely exposed to it, you have to stop everything that you're doing and not leave the house.
Right.
So I canceled all my appointments. I switched everything around. I got people to cover for me. I got COVID tested. It came back negative. Her client also came back negative. It turns out it was just a cold, like a regular cold.
Okay.
So it was crazy. But
Yeah.
even that, even just having a scare, it can stop your business instantly for at least like a week. So you have to have the kind of those plans in place of how you're going to handle that. And who are you going to lean on? Do you have support at your brokerage? Do you have a team?
Right.
Are you trusting of them? Are you willing to let them go and
Yeah. Yeah. Are you willing to let them handle the reins for a little bit, for sure?
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the tough part. And yeah, like you're saying, we have to be responsible. I mean, we're, as realtors, obviously we're essential part of business, but that doesn't give us an excuse to go out and not be responsible. And we have to be more conscious than anybody, because like you're saying, we're meeting clients, we're going into strangers' homes. We don't know where those people have been and how responsible they have been. So more than anything, I think we just have to have an extra level of protection and just be that much more careful. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And like, yeah, I do hope for the better. And at this point, like I said, I'm just extremely grateful. We're still able to provide a service and help our clients out. But um, looks like we're getting close to that hour mark. So I don't see any questions here, but I did want to ask you, I know we were kind of going back and forth on, what you would tell your younger self. And then we kind of jumped in the whole COVID spiel and talking about like how we've had to adapt and helping our clients and being very conscious of it. But, one thing I did want to ask you, because obviously you got an amazing accolade being a 30 under 30 in 2019. And it's an awesome accomplishment. And I'm happy that, someone I know in the industry received that. It's not every day that someone gets that, and especially someone so close to you in your market. So more than anything, just kind of wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit for folks who are in the industry and are under 30 years old and are out there killing it. Like, what kind of advice would you give to them as far as, how do they start? What do they do? And like, I know that you've obviously talked about it a little bit before in other I think in the podcast that we're on with Angelica and Michael, but more so, what would you tell them to do, and how would you tell them to kind of approach the whole process?
Yeah. Thank you so much for your sweet words. That
Yeah,
is
of course.
so, I don't know, that would just make me a little emotional to hear you.
It's the tequila, Felicia.
It is the tequila. This is why I don't drink tequila. No, but thank you so much. And I would say, number one, come and talk to me one-on-one. If you're thinking about applying for 30 under 30 and you want to go that route, I am so happy to sit down with you and go over your application and give you some pointers and actually dive in deep into what you need to do. But if you are thinking of applying, please do so as early as you possibly can. Even if you're like 20 years old and you're like, I have plenty of time, like you don't, just keep applying year after year, because they like to see that people are trying. They like to see that people are showing up year after year after year trying to get this. It's really difficult to do. It's really competitive. So the earlier you start, the better. And honestly, your application will get better and better year after year. So just start as early as you possibly can, even if you have no transactions. Like, just submit an application, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
And I would also say, make sure that, so when you're going through the process, you get a couple of letters of recommendation. And that could be from anyone in the whole world. It could be from a past client. It could be from your broker, your teammate, your mom. It could be anybody. I would recommend getting at least one letter of recommendation from a past 30 under 30 honoree. So that would mean somebody who's won it in the past. Get a recommendation from them, because it's kind of a tight knit community, and they want to make sure that you would fit in well with the other 30 under 30s, and that you would add value, and you're kind of in the group already. Like, so
Right.
I find value in that. I think it's really important to get at least one past honoree to recommend you. Another piece of advice is to go in really, really hard on your application. You need to dive in deep into who you are as a person, who you are as a business owner, what your future is looking like. They want to know the ins and outs of you. They don't want some fluffy story of like whatever. Like, you need to be really, really honest and real, because they read hundreds of applications. Like, they don't care if you're over here bragging about like the kind of car you drive or how many transactions you did. They want to know the meat and bones of who you are as a human. And they take the time to really go into that and to figure it out. And there's so many different levels of like the application. Like, the interviewing process is really in depth. So make sure you know who you are as a human. You feel comfortable sharing your story, and you're willing to put it down on paper and to discuss it with the interviewers. So just feel comfortable. And even if you are uncomfortable, like, just do it anyways, because they love vulnerability.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely would think that would be number one. Like, you just be authentic. Like, you don't want to be super cookie cutter, or you want to definitely be. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I
I've
mean,
done this many deals, like nobody cares.
yeah,
However many deals you did, there's somebody out there who did twice as many.
exactly,
Like,
exactly.
that doesn't make you special.
No, I think at the end of the day, what makes you special is what people see in you, and what the reason why they want to work with you, and why people gravitate towards you. So Yeah, that's super awesome. I hope that somebody out there is listening that wants to be a 30 under 30. Holler at Felicia. She'll put you on game. And if not, take a little tidbit of what she said and be personable and let people know, or let the folks, all the, pretty much the judges, the panelists, whoever we're going to be reviewing applications, really just let yourself shine through beyond a realtor. Who are you really? And that's awesome. I'm extremely glad that you received that accolade, and definitely that you're able to share that with, hopefully future realtors who see this and that want to jump on and apply. So yeah, if you're out there killing it and you're an awesome person and a realtor, and I emphasize the REAL, the real and realtor. If you're a realtor out there, yeah, go ahead and apply for it. It's just an awesome accomplishment, and just really goes, shows who you are as a person and as a realtor. So but yeah, I mean, other than that, Felicia, it was a pleasure. I'm extremely glad we were able to hang out, drink a little tequila, and talk about our industry and what's going on. And I definitely feel like we're gonna probably watch this in a couple of years, like, holy shit, what a weird time that was.
Yeah, we were so young and stupid and weird.
No, that's so awesome. I'm extremely grateful for your company, for you taking some time to just hang out with us, and let everybody know where they can find you. I know you're big on social media, so what's the best way for people to find you?
Yeah, so I love making friends on Instagram. You can follow me at fel.mares. That's FEL.MARES. And I do respond to DMs. I love making new friends. So go and give me a follow and we could be buds on there.
Cool. That's so awesome. All right. Well, thank you again, Felicia. Hope you have a great one. If I don't talk to you, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and definitely hopefully when this gets all better, we'll be able to hang out and pretty much.
You in person.
Yeah, we'll be able to hang out in person to have some tequila.
All right. Thanks.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Felicia. I appreciate you. All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.